All right, back in the car again, recording, multitasking here. So I just wanted to clarify some of the things that I've recently posted, some of the videos on Lisa Renee particularly, and her Cathara grid. And I wanted to add to that post too her D12 Maharic shield protection, just to present some contrast here and let people kind of do the math here, put a side-by-side up and see for themselves what resonates and what's going on here. You know, I think everybody deserves to have a space to clearly see that, and that's what I thrive to do particularly in the Chaos Perspectives group. Did receive some messages about this that I may or may not have been coming from the correct space in doing so, in presenting these things. And I just want to make sure everybody understands my intentions in doing this and presenting Lisa Renee's, looks like a Kabbalah grid. It's Victor's math magician, I would call him. He's really good with the numbers and angles and everything, along with Noel Tobin. And he's provided a lot of insight on these things and calling people out on what angles they're using in the name of, you know, Guardian Alliance or whatever names that they're using that have kind of fall under the category of so that's my intention. It's not to create divides, it's not to do anything else, but just to kind of clearly present the facts here and what's going on. And in my opinion, I'll just throw in some more information here that I received when I first came into the group about Lisa Renee, and this is from some of the old timers that used to go to the workshops that Iesha did at her house, which I believe was the Amenti series. Apparently Lisa Renee was an avid student early on, and she didn't really socialize with the people. From what I've heard, she took took notes, sat in the back, and just, you know, kind of, sorry about that, my phone's actually overheating. It's roasting right now. It's like 100 degrees outside Colorado here, Colorado Springs. So yeah, and I do want to say that I was not at any of these workshops. I don't know, but I have every reason to trust the people that told me. They were long-time KSers that have been in the work, you know, probably from day one, and stuck with it and everything. And this was back in, when I first came in, it was 2010, 2011, around that time. This individual shared that with me. And I believe I heard it from at least one other person, maybe two along the way, that they had also seen who she was, like the whole process of her coming out with her own business and her own website and her own version of the Maharic Shield. And of course, there's a really good article that I posted, a very insightful article from Lisa Renee. It's on something clone. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Something on clone. And she talks about what happened with the copyright charges and stuff with Azurite Press and with Iesha and Michael Dean. And of course it was on my old account that got deleted, so right now I'm in the process of salvaging all of the old posts, because Facebook does give you access to all of your photos, group posts, comments, everything. So I'm trying to put all that together and make a little archive in the group, in Chaos Perspectives particularly. And I also posted an email that had been circulating that was from Lisa Renee, of a question that a KSer asked her about, and it was her response through email. And I don't think this was public, but this individual felt it important enough to circulate it, and, you know, it did some rounds before it got to me. And I also feel the same way, that it's something that's probably important for people coming into the work to have a good understanding. Anybody that's been affiliated with Lisa Renee should probably read this email, and that's something I plan to repost to KS Perspectives also. I've said this in the past before. I've kind of taken on a role as a journalist in this group and kind of archiving and documenting all these stories and things. And this is a major piece that I feel is necessary for newcomers. And as many people know by now, there's a big wave of newcomers coming in from Massimo's group, Emerald Founder Group, and the Conscious Awake movement, Conscious Awareness movement. And I think correct information is essential right now to be able to do the right math and do the right discernment. So it's a big piece of this whole Lisa Renee story also. It's contained within that email, and I will be uploading that soon. So getting back to the post here. Oh, hang on. So yeah, I do make it a point to, as members of the KS Perspectives group, formerly known as KS Reality Check, I do maintain some of that encryption of the Reality Check group, of what it used to be called, in presenting these offshoots, these KS offshoots that have, some of them have made bank on this, of just picking one subject of KS and running with it and just starting a business. And you see the price tags on the DNA activation thing I just posted. That was an individual, Emmy, and she's on Facebook. I reached out to her. She came in the group for a while and left pretty quickly. She felt like she was being harassed. And another lady, I'm trying to remember her name, Indigo Angel, and Carrie Cassidy actually did an interview with her, which was really interesting. It was all about Ashiana and KS and everything. Because Indigo Angel used a ton of Kathara words and Kathara teachings and stuff in her videos. And I also kind of called her out, and posted that, like, okay, where's the sources? Are you citing your sources, where this information's come from? And some people like her, I think she was citing sources, but it was just kind of tiny print somewhere, wasn't really vocalized to the extent, and she was claiming to like kind of be a facilitator or a teacher of this stuff, which there are no Kathara clientele stuff. There's no certification for that anymore. So somebody just coming out and saying that they're doing this and teaching it is a little off, and I felt that also needed to be documented. So just as long as people know and that we're on the same page here of what I'm trying to do in this space, I'm not trying to endorse people. I'm not trying to, enable this stuff to continue. Quite the opposite. I'm trying to present this to people to bring awareness of how far this goes, and, how invaluable and precious these teachings really are. It really says a lot when people can do this and draw a crowd and get customers and do all this stuff. It really speaks a lot to how much is really in these teachings and how much authenticity is really there. If people can actually do that and start their own thing with it, that speaks volumes. But more importantly, that people are doing this without citing their sources, clearly back to Arrayas Productions, is really unsettling. And most of these stories that I get it's not even my research, most of it's presented to me by other KSers that have just kind of seen it on the side somewhere, a YouTube video or something, or did a search, something came up. So yeah, I guess that's it on that subject. I've got a lot more to talk about later on after I talk with Massimo, and that's going to be on the availability of the workshops, of the Freedom Teaching workshops. I'm hoping to make a cloud soon, and not just up to 2008 or 2007. I want to make a complete one all the way up to the product list of Arrayas Productions. I don't want to put anything out there as far as availability on a cloud that is already for sale. I think that's really important that we abide by, respect for Arrayas and her work, and what products that she's offering, that she's selling, and the continuation of this work that she's doing. But the products that are not available, I think really at this time should be made available. So I do support all these clouds and links, Trezor, OneDrive, Sync, all these. I think that's really important. And at one time, and I'm planning to put the archive of all the updates that happen with a particular storage site that me and Suzanne Weaver had been working on at one time, and it didn't work out. I was offered this other deal from a KSer who had all of the workshops in pristine file format, high resolution, the original DVD format. And most of the things that you find out there now with these links and storage drives, you don't know where they're coming from, how many conversions that have happened. So I was kind of given advice on that, but I've just been on hold for like the last couple months or so, and I haven't heard back. So I feel like it's time to move forward, and we got to keep this moving forward, especially now with Massimo's group. So I'm seriously looking at starting a storage site, maybe a OneDrive, a cloud, some kind of cloud server. And anybody that's wanting to contribute towards this would be great. But the main thing that we need to talk about, and like I said, this is going to come later after I talk with Massimo, is the traffic regulations, the traffic limits. Because if we're presenting a storage site on a group and there's like over 500 people in the group, everybody tries to access it at the same time, you can guess what's going to happen. And that's been the problem ever since we tried doing this. I've tried doing this with other people before, and it just hasn't worked out. So we could talk about doing clone drives and people pitching in on just starting a storage site and then doing like clones of it and making more availability. But even with that, we would still have to monitor the traffic, and probably it would go like this. It would go like people in the comments section just letting us know who's in line, and like kind of forming a line and particular days. And this is another thing, is that it would not be for streaming. People would need to invest in a storage drive and hook that up to your computer, make sure that you have the space, and then just download, like dedicate a day towards just downloading everything that you need, whatever's missing, or the full library, and however long that's going to take. And then people taking turns, after you finish one section or something, letting people know in the comments section where you're at so other people can start. That may work. If it's per link, I think that could work, but it could also bog down the site. So we could have like 3 or 4 at a time. These are things that we would need to discuss and that we would need to look at. There's another quick thing I wanted to talk about with regarding the techniques being safe that are in my group in the units section. Those techniques, the KDDL techniques, are directly from Arrayas. Those are the original workshops. I just stream them and we do them in group, which I think is essentially, it's so important right now, because we've lost our tribal gathering element during all this quarantine stuff. And before this all happened, we lost the actual gatherings at physical workshops, and we haven't had that. So I'm just trying to keep a consistency of the gathering flow and our tribal shields. What I really believe in is important right now, that we need to still gather in one space, and that's what the Skypod space is for. It's dedicated for that, for newcomers to come and to gather and do techniques together, share their experiences, and do it in a safe space, in a group shield. I thrive in doing that for people, for newcomers coming in that are serious about their biogenesis and want to try on the frequency and see if it fits. So that's what Skypod is about. There's no reason to be worried that they're not safe or anything like that. I put all the descriptions directly from Arrayas of what the videos are. I play some KS music from Christic artists. It's, you know, frequency wise, I believe that it's up there. You know, it's a really good space. And like I said in past videos, I started with the highest protections available from KDDL3. We started with the top, and we worked our way down KDDL2, and then KDDL1, the true body activation. So this is absolutely a safe space to do the techniques. You have the full range of the units section library there to go through it. The seed atom journeys is there. The full workshop, I believe, to the seed atom journey is there. And I plan on streaming August 2014 this evening, which really explains a lot of what has happened with the shields and why it is strongly suggested to do the plasmas first. Like, she really explains that in detail, so that's going to be a good workshop. And to kind of bridge the freedom teachings to now and how all this connects. So I think that's about it. Hopefully me and Massimo get a chance to do the video soon. We're planning on doing like possibly a live stream video, if not recorded and edited and full production type thing, just explaining where we're at and where my group is at, what his group is doing, and just being more transparent. You know, I believe in doing video together, and as long as it's not a full-on interview. If it's an interview, I gotta get the webcam set up and stuff. But just like doing videos like this, explaining things, I don't mind that at all. And if Massimo, if you're watching, I'll tag you on this video too, so you know. But let's do it. Let's just do it. Let's get on here and let's do a stream or do a video production deal and just explain and get to know each other. And I think it's time for all of us to network. The shields are uniting right now. You know, the cloisters are coming together and everything. Katie is starting to network with Massimo, and I think Danny is his name, did an interview with Katie that's going to be streaming soon. And everybody's just meeting each other in this space, and I just think it's beautiful. It's amazing right now what's happening, the networking that's going on, the influx of people that are doing this right, that are coming into this not drawn to the drama, not drawn to the splits, coming right into it with the seed atom journey, the plasmas, and just ready to get in the spirogenesis. I think it's great, and it's helping the planet, it's helping the political scene, it's helping everything right now. It's just amazing. I can feel it. I can feel the shields. So hopefully we will have a video up soon. I'm going to work with Massimo on doing that. He said that he's ready to do that, and we'll have it posted up soon. All right, everybody have a good weekend. Thanks.